How many of you seen the video of Start With Why? Or read the book Start With Why? So the famous video and the famous book written by Sinek is the movement of already 10 years. The first time the video appeared 2009. So now is a 10 years anniversary. However, my name is Loretta and today is a Friday jam that I am doing in the context of Vitality Time. So I recently just shared my great tips on authenticity journey and how the authenticity helps to be vital, how to be the energetic, how to brings your zest and zeal into your life. So this specifically start with why. If you do recall the concept, it's in the middle is the why. Why is in the middle? Because everything starts with why, obviously. And around we have some other circles that they talk on basically how and what. How and what. I think the best person who can explain all this video, all this concept is Sinek itself, that I will give a reference in a few moments. So when we know our why we are doing what we do, why we do what we do, and why we make things happening in this way or another way, it's actually the next step into the environment, how the world sees us. It's really fascinating because we're always curious, we're always wondering how other people perceives me, what other people sees in me. And because a lot of time when most our heads is running this program, okay, what others will think, what others will say, oh, if I do this, if I do that, hey, come on. There is a great tool that I recently used for my interview actually, and I want to share with you and to show how these great tools are connected. So Sally Hogshead, the author and researcher behind the Fascinate advantage, she came up with the seven languages, seven patterns, how we communicate with the world, how world sees us. Well, that famous, Merhabian communication model of 7, 35, and 8, it's still applicable, but here we are going a little bit deeper because Sally Hogshead in her research, and you can get that assessment as well, and I will give you the material where you can go later. She points out seven those key languages that we are communicating. Would it be creativity? Would it be passion? Would it be trust? You may think, yeah, that applies to me, but actually there is few layers deeper. So that gives, in a sense, that we have 7 languages, it gives us our advantages. So when I got to know my advantages, I was a little bit surprised. But when she puts everything in a sense, how my language, how my advantage actually is in a whole picture, it makes a lot of sense. So I will trigger you here to go and access that link for free. By the way, I don't have any backlinks or any affiliates because I'm just sharing because I love it, and I think that if you're watching it, you will get a benefit. I am coming from the training background, so for me it's so important to have pieces by pieces applicable. So anything I do myself, anything I put my hands, put my skin, I make sure that in a time frame I make that valuable for other people and also use in my different sessions. Would it be training? Would it be mentoring? Would it be coaching? Would it be just a sharing? So these all tools you can make if you are creative enough to make training, a small training for your team. If you are the manager, if you are the leader, if you are NGO, manager, whoever you are, if you have a people around and you would like, to get to know each other, to bond each other, this is a very great and free tools that I am sharing with you. But before that, you need to do your research, and your research might be my references that I am giving to you. So now we talked about the why, right? The why, Simon Sinek, the famous video, the book that gives a very clear framework how to find your why, how to find your organization why. Wow, that's really, really great. So we started with why. Then I talked about 7 languages, about 7 fascination languages. 7. 7. Why it's 7? Well, because there is a research behind that. Why it's 7? We are driven by the 7 advantages in our life, and every person has its own first core ability, first advantage. It's always same. Would it be trust? Would it be creativity? Would it be detail? Would it be a relationship? So this is what you are driven by. So 7 is like called fascinate. Fascinate. Yes, because this is how we want the world to see us. Not to judge. No, I'm not about the judgment. It's all about being authentic, being you, how others perceive you. And the last one, but not the least one, how all these 3 tools coming together. 3 tools, Simon Sinek, Sally Hogshead, and if you have heard about networking, one of the leading experts in this field, Janine Garner, wrote a book, It's Who You Know. Well, I'm not saying that this is one more book in the networking world. As I said, I like practical things, and I love to share practical things that you can test yourself, see how it works for you, and then multiply, right? So that's why these amazing authors and many, many more are in this world. They give a practical things. So what I like about this book and what I like about Janine Garner is that she gives a 12 archetypes. 12 archetypes in your networking. How come, right? Well, we know that networking is a skill, that is developing skill, and it's very important. And if we don't know how to connect with people, we may feel out of space, right? But what she gives a 12 archetypes, the ones who are, those positive ones, and those who are negative ones. Okay, I just call like this, but actually she called them those who actually the ones who are empowering you, who wants to learn you, who are pushing you, who are giving that advice to you, who are just around when you need them. And the ones that you don't want to be connected, but if you know all their features, you will immediately realize, okay, this person is the shadow. She calls them a shadow, ones who are behind you, and they just want you literally not succeed, right? So all these tools are available in my recent article that I have written, and I will share with you the link that with all the resources that you can access, and the most important, that you can do it by yourself. Do it by yourself, and then really let me know, because it makes sense to test it. So if you watch the video why, right, it's very good. If you get the idea, then you go to Fascinate Me, 7 fascination advantages. You take the test, you get your profile up there. Then I have a small sheet from 12, it's Who You Know, from the networking book from Janine Garner, and there is a table in that article that you are filling immediately, right? And then you have the whole overview. You have the overview of your authentic journey. Why are you calling that authentic journey? Because all of these things, they go into a simple idea. The why addresses into your internal, what sits inside you. Who are you? Yeah, for yourself, for others. What drives you in the world? It's very sensitive, very intimate topic that a lot of people are talking about. But I believe this framework is a first step that Simon Sinek introduced 10 years ago, and it works very, very well. When we talk about the fascination, fascination is about not only attraction, but it also the connection. So this is addressing into external world, how the world sees us, right? because we always want to get the opinions, what do you think about this, what is that? But how we show ourselves to the world, it's so important, because this is how we connect to people. So that's how internal and external gets into alignment with it's who you know. Because see, the life is such an interesting thingy, such an interesting process, that I'm looking for somebody who I need, and somebody is looking for me. And in a time frame, we will find each other, right? It's just like a relationship. Yeah, where is the one, right? But seriously speaking, yes, this is how it is. If you know your why, you're getting attracted to the people who has a similar why, right? So if you know your fascination language, it's not about manipulation, no, it's about being truly yourself and connecting to others. So when you are connecting with others, you talk your true voice, right? And talking your true voice gives you what? Gives you confidence. And with the confidence, we always can move further. We can move to achieve your goals, to create the life you want, and it gives you energy. That's why vitality time, giving some time to these tools and also other tools that I will be sharing in other videos, it's so important. I want to make it crisp and simple, just to bring back the awareness that makes you happy. Because I believe that every one of us is the example, and every one of us has this energy. But what we are lacking how to find that energy, how to, manage the energy in order to be productive. So I will be sharing the link. Just go read the article, right? Do the assessment. Really, no backlinks attached. I just do just because I love it. And if you like it, just share with other people who you think they can benefit. And if you are doing a small training session or a sharing session, please write me back. I'm really wonder how you're gonna do it, and most specifically the result you get. But first, and the most fundamental thing, go through yourself. Know your why, know your fascination profile or archetype, and also just get a little bit in touch with those 12 archetypes that I also listing in the article. Okay, so see you in the next video, and Loretta here with Friday Jam that usually I do every Friday in less than 15 minutes, in sharing different tips and different ups and downs in my life and giving the value. Thank you.